Hey friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. And I got the camera working. Sorry I'm late. You know, general streamer things. You stop streaming one day, you try to start streaming the next. Nothing works. I don't know. Got me. This time I had to restart the computer 3 times. And go through the very specific process over and over and over again. But hey, I got it done. And here we are to hang out for a little while, do some simming, work on the AOS 3.5, and this is going to be a Q&A live stream. So any questions that you've got, leave them in the chat, and we'll talk about them. Speaking of the chat, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper was first, Bozadar Reyes was next, Frank Nicholas, Hockey Rounds, Brandon's Baked Beans, Northern Tier, RT McKinney, Terry Burnett, Troy Prelog, CiottiFPV, Morton Upshot, Douglas Otwell, Espander, RT McKinney, Bob Bruce, Hockey Rounds again, Adam Weston, 661, Rock Crawler, who else we got in here? Morton Upshot, Julianne Dan, Mr. Dr. Death, 661, what's up friends? Thanks for coming. If you want to talk directly to me, in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up an orange. I'll know you're talking to me. If you see somebody asking a good question, copy it, paste it, tag me, and let's talk about it. Apache Smoke says, good evening CiottiFPV. How you doing, friend? And hello, Gangly Gang. How's everybody doing this Sunday? I'm good, brother. Hopefully you are as well. Apache Smoke, Wounded Sniper, and Quadbod continuing to just be amazing human beings doing, timestamps on streams moving forward and streams going back in time. So very cool of them. Quadbod also has a sound pack that we're going to get up on Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, if you head on over to CiottiFPV.com, you can support this insanity that is doing FPV full-time. All of these things help. The thing that helps the most is jumping onto my Patreon, and that's going to give you access to the CiottiFPV sound pack at some point here when we figure out how to put it up there and how best to present it to you beautiful people. A ton of other benefits to joining Patreon. Giveaways, 4 giveaways every month. 3 of them are Patreon specific. Bunch of tech articles, YouTube playlist with unreleased stuff, almost 90 videos, Patreon only live streams, all kinds of good stuff there. 2 different Facebook groups and a motherfucking partridge in a pear tree. Over on Etsy, you can get some stickers and hardware. Over on Teespring, you can get some shirts and apparel. And then over on Fiverr, you can book me with a one-on-one session so that you can build better, fly better, or tune better, or all 3. Take advantage of somebody willing to put their time in there that's been doing this for 7+ years. Yes, I give it all away for free on these live streams, but you'd be surprised at how much you can get out of a half an hour or an hour-long session where you're just one-on-one. We can answer like all those burning questions that you've had that, you know, for you to dig the answers up from live streams or Facebook, but don't do that. It would take you months and years. So yeah, yo. PayPal if you want to support me, but you want to do a super chat, but you don't want YouTube to take 30%. And then I've got a ton of affiliate links. If you're doing orders on any one of these websites and you hit my link before you check out, I'll get 1 to 6% of your total shopping cart order for nothing. We Bleed FPV, Newbie Drone FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HD0, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera, Body, AliExpress. That's it. That's how you can support me so that I can keep doing this full time forever. Whee! Much like PBS, I rely on support from beautiful people like you. RT McKinney says, time for a tech refresh. Bob Bruce says, what's up, Gangles and CiottiFPV? Rock Crawler says, what's happening? RT McKinney says, unplug everything, as if it were only that simple. As a reminder, no unsolicited advice, please. Being a live streamer is an unbelievably confusing process of turning all of your gear on in the exact right order and launching programs in the exact right order. If you're a live streamer and you've gone through that and you know a better way of doing it, I'm all ears. But if you're not, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and I've developed the only process that really works. So, you know, again, no unsolicited advice, please. If somebody wants advice, they'll ask for it. RT McKinney says, don't get cranky, we'll understand, we'll just mess with you. He also says, yeah, it's frustrating, but you always figure it out and you always keep rocking in the USA. It's true. Denzel the Terrible says, howdy. Morton Upshot says, question, Walksnail 1S power, do you power direct from the lipo pigtail or do you use the 5-volt rail on your flight controller? Really good question by Morton Upshot. We've talked about this a bunch in the past, and I still don't have the what is this down here? Oh, that's where that extra little LipoSafe bag went. I've been wondering. I was looking for this. It used to be over to the right side of the desk. Apparently I moved it to the left side of the desk and forgot to remind myself. So we've talked about this before. I don't have the for sure answer, but I think I have an answer. I have read somewhere that and some one or two people in chat backed me up last time we talked about this. Running a 5-volt BEC into a 5-volt BEC is not the best idea, because they can sort of fight each other, is an extremely untechnical way of describing it, but yeah, it's not a great idea, and apparently you want to try to avoid it if possible. So I've been running the Walksnail off of straight battery voltage, and it's been totally fine. I've had no problems whatsoever. When I first hooked it up, there was a version mismatch, and that was making it act weird, and I thought that it might have been a voltage issue, and technically it could have been a voltage issue, but I doubt it. So yeah, in the Walksnail VTX there is a 5-volt back to, and it's rated, the Walksnail Lite, sorry, and it's rated for the lower voltages that are the 1S batteries. I I run the batteries down. Fuck. To, what is it, 3.3? I don't run them down as far as I do on the freestyle rigs. But I think I still run them down to 3.3. And I've not had a single problem. I've not had it brown out. I've not had it stop recording. So, yeah. My recommendation, my unprofessional recommendation is to run it off of VBAT and let the BEC in the Walksnail do its thing. If that's actually the best way of doing it, I have no idea, but that's how I've been doing it, and it seems to be the prevailing theory that that's how we want to do it. So, Apache Smoke says, thanks for the shout out. Thank you for all the amazing work, my man. Great question, Morton. Who out there is not doing that? Who out there has, or even more interesting, who's got a 1S rig with a Walksnail light that they bought pre-built that has the 5-volt out on the board running to the Walksnail light? You know what I mean? Because in theory, the manufacturers... In theory, the manufacturers have tested that. Oh, man. I'm relatively dehydrated right now, and I left my effing water bottle upstairs. Hold on. Here's the battery rate before that one. I get very yawny when I'm dehydrated. I've noticed. Hold on. Be right back. Blue steel. Oh shit. Just gonna play this through the speakers. Hold on. Why'd that happen? Zoom mic quiet. There we go. Be right back. What? Be right back. So cool. What's up, friends? I'm back. Man, I miss caffeine. I really wish that caffeine didn't absolutely annihilate my stomach's face so hard. Because, man, fighting off the narco sleepies without caffeine is rough. It is rough. All right, let's get going. What do you guys want to do first? Sim stuff or work on the AOS 3.5? Sim stuff? All right, great. Let's do that first. So we're going to be playing around with orbits and trippy spins in the simulator today because people ask me all the damn time to help them with trippy spins. And I say, why? That's the ugliest move in all of FPV. And then they say, shut up, idiot. Dance, monkey. Do what I want, not what you want. I didn't come here for reasoning. You monkey. Dance. Dance, monkey, dance. Alright, Velocidrone's coming up. I don't know what I would do if somebody actually said that to me. I'd be like, well, okay. Morton Upshot bought the Happy Model Mobile 7 Walksnail and needs to replace the AIO. They wired it to battery plus. Very cool. Not sure why they did that and not use the 5 volt next to the UART. We just talked about that, Morton. Like 14 seconds ago, we just went through that. Did you put that message up before we had that little conversation? I'm guessing. I love that they wired it up to the battery positive. That's great. In theory, there's an engineer over there somewhere that put some thought into that. Velocidrone, come on, man! Stop hijacking my entire effing screen. How do they even do this? Like how do you? I don't know of a single other program that is as aggressive. Oh, I fucking quit it. That is as aggressive as Velocidrone with taking over the computer and not letting you do anything. Come on, man. Come on, man. There we go. Here we go. Frank Douglas says, which quad are you going to use in Velocity? I use the Glide. Just to try to keep things as close to normal as possible for me. Oh my god. There it is. Alright, so come on now. Let me... Where is it? It's over here. What? No, I don't want this. Oh, open Apple F. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Okay. So I'm the problem. Got it. Alright, I'm just moving chat over here real quick. My VD is particularly aggressive. Rockcrawler also confirming that his HD0 Mobile 6 was soldered to VBAT from factory. Very cool. Denzel the Turtle says, mouse into the left corner, 3 dots appear, hit the green one. Really? Really? I haven't been a Mac user for the past, like, 30 years or anything. I would never have known that. Remember what I said about unsolicited advice, friends? I love you guys, but Jesus Christ, don't tell me that... Don't tell me about the... Oh, God. I don't know. Maybe I'm the asshole. We got the Glide. We're creating our session. It's called CiottiFPV. Let's go to... Where can we go? Let's go to... I want a spot with a bunch of vertical shit. Let's go to the shipyard. Because it's got those big tall... Oh, no. Let's go here, actually. Yeah, let's go here real quick. I think there might be a bunch of light poles here. Chat's going ham. Alright, let's see here. Are there not light poles? Are there just trees? There are just trees. I think it's golf cart track or go-kart track that has a bunch of vertical light poles. Indoor, no, not indoor. Karting track. Here we go. I think karting track is the one. Let's take a look. I want big vertical bastards to. All right, let's see. Yeah. I think this is it. Yeah. So there's a bunch of these light poles, and like realistic. Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the man's gone ham. Alright, hold on. Outside of map! Yeah, so we got a bunch of these guys here. Which are going to sort of be perfect, because in the real world, if you're going to practice trippy spins, you're probably going to do them around something like this, in a parking lot somewhere. So, we'll play around with it here, but first, let's fart around with the rest of this. Let me just get warmed up here. Ah! Oh! That would have been cool. That was fun. Look at the little cannon. Supposed to go through this the other way. Supposed to come around here and fire up and out of the cannon. This is cool. A little racetrack set up here. Go. So they want you to go in here and turn around. Come down here. What's that mean? Does that mean that maybe? I don't know what that means. Alright. We're warmed up. So, first and foremost, I thought I could make it through there. First and foremost, don't overcomplicate. Oh, shit. Don't overcomplicate the trippy spin. All it is a tail in orbit. Where is the go-kart track? Oh god, I found the wall. There it is. Okay. So, all a trippy spin is a tail in orbit. And so, if you can figure out how to do orbits, you can figure out how to do trippy spins. And I know you guys know how to do orbits, because it's like the first thing that you learn when you find a vertical object. The only thing about it, though, is that you would kind of think, that if you look down at my stick overlay on the bottom here, an orbit is going to coordinate your sticks. So you're going to put the subject on the inside third of the screen, and then you're going to coordinate your sticks to kind of keep it there. And if you want to go closer, you're going to add more pitch and more throttle. If you want to go farther away, you're going to back off on the pitch and you're going to back off on the throttle. And now your up tilt definitely does matter. I think I'm at 25. Oh, nope, that ain't it. Nope, I was at 30. So let's come down to 20 and I'll show it to you. And then we'll come down to 10. I'll show it to you there as well. So basically, the up tilt is going to control, to some extent, the speed of the orbit. See how much slower I'm going this time? And your goal is to keep the object perfectly vertical. So that's 20 degrees. Now watch 10 degrees. It's also just, I mean, I guess technically it's more of a look thing. The lower the up tilt, the more you're going to be looking down at the object, but you can change that with how much throttle you add, right? So watch, as I add more throttle at a low up tilt, I'm just only looking at the ground. And that's really not what I mean, personally, that's not what I want, right? So if we go back up to 30, naturally, the speed is going to increase. But also, if you do it slowly, look how much more of the light pole is in there. Right? The angle of the quad, the angle of attack, the amount of pitch forward is what determines the speed. So no matter what, if we go really close again here, like we were when we were looking at the ground, we're going to speed up. Makes sense? And here's your visualization of that, right? When this is the front, this is the object. So if you've got, just imagine it drastically. If you've got 0 degree up tilt, as it's coming around, you're looking down at the ground, right? So what you're naturally going to do is back off, and you're going to do the orbits slower. The more pitch forward, the more you're driving in towards the object, and that's going to make you go around it faster. So just like when you're flying a straight line, the more you pitch forward, the faster you're going to go in this orbit. If you're doing the orbit quickly and you've got a lot of camera up tilt, that might look nice. If you don't, if you've got 0 degree camera up tilt, when you get in here, you're just staring at the ground. It's going to look silly. So you want to slow down. If you've got low camera up tilt, if you're doing an orbit with like a cinewhoop, you're going to do that orbit very slowly so that you can keep the damn object in frame. Otherwise, you're going to just look down at the ground. Trippy spins are the reverse of that. No, I guess not. I guess not. With low up tilt, camera facing straight out like this, with low up tilt, as you wrap around, there's not going to be much, think of the field of view, there's not going to be much of your object in the frame if you're low up tilt. Whereas if you're high up tilt, right, your field of view is like this, you're going to have a lot of the object in your frame. So, and then speed comes into effect as well, but speed actually makes it worse. As you go faster with a trippy spin, you put more of the object in your frame. As you go slower with the trippy spin, no, it's like this. As you go, oh yeah, it is like this. As you go slower with the trippy spin, you flatten out like this, and there's damn near none of the object. Trippy spins are very throttle dependent. You have to really, really, really hammer the hell out of the throttle with trippy spins to get them right. Which is not true about orbits. With orbits, the less throttle, the more of the object that's in view. See, I got the whole light in view. Whereas with a lot of throttle, we just start to pick up the bottom. We can increase elevation to bring more of it into frame. But, yeah, in that way, it's kind of the opposite. My favorite way of initiating a trippy spin is to turn away. Is it? Nope, it's to turn in. Sorry. Okay, so it's to, oops. So it's to turn into the object. So, you're going to fly past it, you're going to turn into it, and then you're going to roll into the trippy spin. Oops. So turn into it, and then roll into it. Oops. I don't do these often, so let's try it the other way. Damn it! There we go. So, and I'm not giving it enough throttle to keep it up in the air. You can start it in either direction. I mean, you can turn outwards, But the problem with doing that is you then have to rotate. You see that like change of direction that I had there? So if you turn into it, you then have to... Jesus, I'm having a hard time. If you turn out away from it, you then have to... Jesus! Yeah, I can't even do it. I can't even do it turned into it. I have to do it like this. And by doing that, you are... Woo! What is happening? Here we go. Yeah, I like these moves to like frame up an object and then throw myself over it like that, because you get to like show the object a little bit. I don't like to lock into them, but I'll show you guys anyway. All right, come on. So turn into it, roll through, and sort of what happens here. Watch my sticks, right? It forces you into the... So with orbits, let me land. With orbits, we're doing this. We're doing... we're coordinating our sticks. As we add yaw, we're adding roll. When we go into a trippy spin, we're going to cross-coordinate like this or like this. And by rotating into it, watch my sticks. It forces you to cross-coordinate in a way. So you roll into it, and I'm already cross-coordinating, and now I just have to catch it and add throttle and adjust where the object is. So turn in. Farts. Where is it? Where's that light pull at? Right on top of it. Turn into it. Wow. I usually do it around buildings. I'm having a hard ass time doing it not around a building. Into it, and then level it up, and away we go. Hold on. Let me go somewhere that I have a little bit more height. Change track. Let's go to the docks, coastal. Find the highest vertical thing that you can, because what you're seeing happening here is going to happen to you. You're just going to bang into the ground. It's just really hard to get the angle right and to show the right amount of the object, but at the same time keep your elevation. So once you get into it, now you can judge the elevation of the object by how much of the pole is showing. And if you want to climb higher, you just add throttle basically. And then everything else is going to... See, so I'm dropping down, so I'm going to add throttle. And now I climb to the top. And now I'm going to remove throttle. And you can also kind of adjust this. You can kind of adjust your height by your pitch. So it's a little bit of a dance. God, it's just so stupid looking. It's just such a dumb looking camera movement. It just makes no sense. So let me show you low and up tilt versions of it. Here's a very difficult low up tilt version of it. 10 degrees camera angle. Oh god, it's so hard to fly like this. All right, let's see. So at 10 degrees camera angle, the object is always going to be way the hell up on the top of the screen. Oh boy, I don't even know if you can do it with 10 degrees. But now let's go up to 50 degrees. And you'll see, wait till you see how much easier this is. So at 50 degrees, oh my god, oh boy. Oh, it's so weird. Okay, at 50 degrees though, we roll it over, and now look at this. The whole friggin' thing is gonna be like in the frame all the time. and it's going to make it really easy to do these. Oh boy, not quite that easy though. I'm putting a ton of the light pole in the frame. See how close I can get to the light pole with all the up tilt? And now, hold on, let's go the other way. Oops. I'm not really great at getting into them. I have to get into them in this one specific way. Wow, it is way different with all this up tilt. Hold on. I'm just trying to adjust. There we go. See how much closer I am to it? I'm not doing a great job keeping a lot of the pole in the frame. There we go. Oops, oops, oops. So I'm dropping down, so I'm going to add throttle. I dropped down too low. Wow, it's really weird doing that at 50 degrees. That's super strange. It feels right at 30 degrees. It really feels like that's where you want to be. Could totally just be because that's the up tilt that I fly, but it shows you enough of the object, but not so much of the object. So again, you're going to approach from the side. You're going to pretend like you're flying past the object, right? But as you fly past it, you're going to rotate in, and then you're going to cross-coordinate your sticks. And you kind of just leave it to yaw first. So come in, yaw in towards it, and then pull the roll stick in the opposite direction. And then you're going to stay cross-coordinated. Come in, roll, flip over, throttle. And you're going to have to really get on the throttle for it. And it's just like an orbit, it's just balancing all the axes and trying to keep the object top dead center. Although with orbits, you have to put the object to the inside third. For whatever reason, with Trippy spins, they seem to work fine with the object. See, I didn't have enough throttle on. Yeah, Trippy spins seem to work a lot better with the object centered. Oh, that would have been cool. And I don't really know why, to be honest. It could just be that I don't do them enough. There might be some secret. Turn in towards it, and then cross-coordinate your sticks. And now we're going the opposite direction. We're putting both sticks inwards. I'm falling down the pole, so I'm going to pick up more throttle to climb it. Doing this in real life is going to wreck batteries. Also, in addition to throttle, in order to gain altitude, you want to put the object farther up in the screen. So, like, if you're trying to show, goddamn, woo, boy, it is tough to look at, even as the person doing it. It's tough to be forced to watch a single object just randomly rotate through the top of the screen. It's really weird and silly. But that's it, yo. That's one of the harder moves in FPV. And again, all it is sort of the opposite of a stick coordinated orbit. If you can orbit, you can Trippy spin. Another way to think about the Trippy spin, actually, is this. This is almost there. This is almost a Trippy spin here. Just like laying the quad over and orbiting an object. And if you want to transition this into a Trippy spin, you just start cross-coordinating the sticks. Farts. Let me find a you know, that's probably the best way to show it to you. Let me find a light pole that doesn't have anything around it. So it's going to be this one here. So if you approach an object and you just turn over a little bit, and just turn an angle and start doing one of these. Watch my sticks. 3, 2, 1. See that? See how I just pulled the roll to the right? That's all there is to it. That's all there is to between getting from just a regular like right side up orbit into a tail in inverted orbit, also known as a trippy spin. Are also really tough to get out of in any way that looks meaningful. So that's another way to learn it. Just so this is your orbit. If you're going to orbit to the right here, both sticks are to the right. If you want to keep that orbit going, let it roll over. You're still coordinating. You're still coordinating your sticks. Not much, but you're still coordinating your sticks. Both sticks are to the right. And then if you want to turn into the trippy spin, cross-coordinate. It's a little ugly getting into it, but... oh boy. So yeah, that's it, yo. That's a trippy spin. It takes a bunch of practice for sure, but like I said, if you can orbit, you can trippy. Ah! Spander says we can't see your sticks. God damn it. Thank you, Spander. One more time. So, regular old orbit. Coordinating our sticks, both sticks to the right in this case. If we back off on the right stick and center it, the yaw is going to make us shift over here. And we're going to start to do these weird like knife edge orbits, let's call them. Right? So stick coordination, regular orbit. Both sticks to the right in this case. Take the right stick out of the equation and just keep yawing, and you can turn it into one of these weirdo knife edge orbits. And then if you take the right stick and cross coordinate it, you can turn it into a trippy spin and make everyone other than pilots hate your flying. So yeah, that's it, man. Stick coordination, cross coordination. And so if you want to roll into it, you're going to use the yaw to roll you over into it, and then you're going to pick up the roll to keep you orbiting around it. Because the yaw will have you go into it, and then you'll just keep flying straight. You need the roll to then start pulling it back. So as you fly into it, if you just yaw, flying into it, if you just yaw, so you're going to come here, you're going to look at it with the yaw, but the quad's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep, right? Like yaw just does that. Yaw is just going to keep it going. There's going to be a split second where you're looking up at it and you're at a crazy angle, and that's when you want to pitch forward if you want to do that knife edge orbit. If you want to do a regular orbit, you're going to use roll, right? The yaw is going to make it go like this, like that, and then the roll is going to, so you're yawing left, rolling left. So the yaw and the roll are going to keep it flat the whole time. Yaw, yaw to keep looking at the object, look at the object, roll to stay flat. To do the knife edge orbit, you're going to yaw into it and then pitch forward, right? Because you're pitching forward like this. So think about it, the knife edge orbit thing is like this, right? So of course you need to pitch forward. You're pitching forward to stay around it. You need to keep yawing so that you keep looking at it. And then if you want to do a trippy spin, you're going to yaw into it, and then you're going to pitch forward and cross coordinate, because you want this side you're pitching left all the way around, and then you want to push left for this left side to come with it. So you're going to continue to yaw, and then so it's just like a step by step thing. Flat orbits, cross coordination. Knife orbits, pitch forward with yaw. Inverted tail in or trippy spins. Cross coordination. Make sense? Probably not. But man, it's tough to explain it. It's a tough move to do, and it's also a tough move to explain. Let me just fly for a second. I just wanna get a little bit of flying on. Hold on. Let's just do a super quick freestyle session. Don't go out and do the trippy spins in real life right away. Do them in the sim for a while. It's called odd-shaped face. I don't like it. No, we've already heard that one. All right, let's go here. All right, let me get a quick battery in. Let's fly a song. That was fun. Let me switch the audio here and pause this. And so there you guys go. Any questions on trippy spins? Ask somebody else because I'm not good at them. It's yeah, I don't know. I just have no. I have no want or need to get better at them because they look stupid. Like, I just don't. It's just not something I'm going to spend time on. It's a trick that you need to spend time on for sure, and I have not. Like the only reason I can do trippy spins is because I just understand how the axes interact, and I can just make adjustments. But I've never actually sat down for 15, 20, 30 minutes and done trippy spins constantly to really figure it out and figure out how to get like locked into them. Some people, the very best pilots at doing trippy spins they're really good, and like they can lock into them and like do figure eights. They still look awful. Like it still looks terrible and it's confusing. But yeah, there are a bunch of pilots that can get into it and out of it. Get into it for sure. Getting out of it, there's I don't know. It's weird. But I'm just not. I don't care. I don't care about this move. It just looks stupid. I don't want to use it. I'm not in this to like impress people. Although that's kind of what we do on set. But yeah, it's not like specifically like, look what I can do. Look how good of a pilot I am. It's you know, look at how good of a camera operator I am. Like, look at the shot that I can give you. Not like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't know. Not my thing. That's okay. Peter Savas says, please do a split S tutorial. That I can't do. Nice split S with obstacle view, my nemesis. Peter, it is all about... I already quit out of Velocidrone, but you're approaching your subject like this, your nose down. What you want to remember is that you've got up tilt. So your nose down, you're approaching your object. All you have to do is roll it over to keep your object in view. Everybody gets a little too try hard about like cross coordinating their sticks so that they keep their up tilt in view, and you actually kind of don't want to cross coordinate when you do a split S. So approach your object, or maybe it's a tree. Approach your object, nose down, you're flying fast. As you get to the object, just roll over. That will put the object perfectly in your view. Think of the up tilt. And then you're just going to ride the throttle, and you're just going to pitch it down. And if this is a tree, you can wrap around the canopy of the tree. The other thing to do to give yourself more time is to come in low. Come in low to the ground, and then go full throttle. When you get off the throttle, that's when you flip it over. And now you've got all this time to trace up and around the tree. So come in low, full throttle blast, chop the throttle, roll it over in one direction, and then just trace the object all the way down. You're just going to pitch, you're going to be pitching back. You're going to be pulling up. And you're just going to pull up right around the object as you wrap down through it. Stick overlay is not really going to help that, because it's just full throttle, chop throttle, turn it over, pitch down. That's really all it is. And technically, you don't even need the full throttle, chop throttle. You can just fly at an object, flip over, and fly under it. So at its minimum, you're just going to chop the throttle, turn it over. Let me do it the other way for you guys. You're going to chop the throttle, turn it over 180 degrees, invert the world, and then you're going to pitch down and throttle up, right? Because you're going to wrap down and around. Don't overcomplicate split S's. It's just cut the throttle, roll the quad over, pitch it down, and pull the throttle to keep your throttle is what's going to stick you to the object. So chop throttle, turn over with roll, and then add throttle and pitch to wrap around the object, and you'll be good to go. Peter Savas says, split S, I always lose it from the view. Yep, you are probably cross-coordinating your sticks, and that's making the camera keep looking straight. We want the camera to look down at the object. So as you come in with the nose down, when you turn over, if you just do it with roll, you're going to be looking right down at the object. What you're doing, I'll bet you, is what most people do, is they're, on the way in, they're cross-coordinating, and that keeps the camera looking straight, and then the object is gone. You fly right over the object. You got to play catch-up. Just roll over. Just roll the thing over. Also, the faster you're going towards it, the easier that's going to be. If you're going really slow towards it, you're going to be flat. You're still going to look down. Think of the up tilt. But if you're going faster, the faster you're going, the more down the up tilt is. Right? Because you're nose down like crazy here, and then when you roll it over, now you're going to be looking kind of backwards if you're going really fast into it, and that's going to make sure that you don't miss the object. So yeah, fly towards the object faster, and make sure that you're not adding any yaw when you turn it over. Just roll it over, and that'll point your camera straight down. It'll give you a chance to actually see the damn object so that you can play with the throttle to wrap around it. If you still can't figure it out, next Sim Sunday we'll spend a bunch of time on it, because split S's are just a movement that everybody needs to really lock down on and know how to do over and over and over again. And it does take some doing. It's not an easy move. It's a move that takes some time. Logitech, come on now. You're better than that. Give me some focus, please. Hey, now we're cooking with gasoline. Denzel says, thanks for the practice. Pack's charge. Going to practice now. Very cool, brother. Yeah, guys, bring feedback on that stuff. I love to hear the feedback. It's hard to like teach this stuff in a way that connects with everybody's brains. So yeah, when any and all feedback is super amazing. Okay, so it looks like we've got one more motor to measure up and solder on here, so let's knock that out. And then we can actually start assembling this thing, which will be pretty cool. Oh no, that's right. I have to resolder this one because I chopped it a little short. Or no, it was a little long actually, I think. So I've got this in here in the rear, down like this. This is a Speedix GS25 ESC that's probably not going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, so yeah, I cut these two leads a little bit too long, and then right at the end of the last time we were working on this, I shortened them up quite a bit. So let me just strip a little bit of wire insulation here, and then we'll get these tinned, get them down on the pads, and then we'll have just one more motor to do. God, man, my allergies have been absolutely insane. Come on now. Something in the air, yo! Alright, cool. I'm going to tin these while they're floating up in the air like this. This is not a great idea, but we'll be alright. Just keep an eye out for solder balls if you're going to tin wires like this near an electric component. Alright. Alright, we're tinned up, and if I do this quick, I can get this onto the pads while that soldering iron is still molten. It's molten! Anybody know what that's from? It's fucking molten! Here we go. Hey. That one came out nice. I was assuming that there was still some flux on these pads, and there certainly is. I like overfluxed them last time, and yeah, there's plenty of flux still on here. There we go. All right, cool. So let's see if that's, it should be now the right length. Yeah, much better. Much better. It was just too damn long last time. I like to try to leave the wires a little bit long, just in case I need a little bit of extra wire length in the future, but it was just like way too long last time. Okay, so This is good to go. This one's good to go. All we've got is motor number 4 here. So these wire runs should be pretty close to the right length. Let's just take a look here. I mean, I kind of think that they're the perfect length. I believe that I hope that I cut these. Now I'm starting to wonder. Hold on, how did I do this one? Did I do this one so that I would run the wires up and over? I think I did. Yeah, I did this so that the wires will run up and over like that and come out the front bit. I feel like I did not use a wire that's quite long enough here. So we're going to go there. So I want to go like that. Oh no, I'm good. It's perfect. It's perfect. Is it? Hold on. Radio Killer. I might have cut this ever so slightly too short. Okay, so with that sitting there, come on, you little bastard. Ah, Christ. Yeah, I cut this one a little too short. That was stupid. This one here on the outside is ever so slightly too short. So I'm going to desolder it and then just replace this little bit of wire here. So, okay, so I just need something that's a little bit longer than this. This is 24 gauge. I've got a bunch of that. Is this it? Nope. I need that. 24 gauge, where you at? Do have a little case in here. There we go. Alright, let me just grab some 24 out of here real fast. Get these little cases, guys. They're the greatest things ever. Ever. That's 20 gauge. That is more 20 gauge. Why? Why do I not have this better organized? That's 26. Where's the 24? There's the 24. Yeah, farts. Okay, so I need something that's a little bit longer than this. No, this is too skinny. I don't know why this is so skinny. Well, that would explain why I have this wire length, because some of these wires are exactly that length. But inevitably, there's going to be a wire in here that's a little bit longer. I don't need much extra length, just a little bit. Yeah, like this one will be fine. This one's got enough extra length for me, so we gonna be alright. I don't love. Ramdongo says, "Does AOS stuff do colors?" Yeah, you can get colored carbon. It's pretty cool. I can't believe more people don't offer that. My suspicion is more people don't offer it because it's not that cool looking. Like, colored carbon fiber doesn't look that amazing. It's cool, I guess. Like, it's different, but I don't know. I think black carbon fiber looks better. And I've always kind of assumed that's why not many people do the colored carbon stuff. Or maybe it's just, I know it's more expensive, but I don't think it's that much more expensive. Tin in this wire real quick. Okay. So let's get this zapped up to the little tiny race wire here. And I'm going to need the nerd goggles to do this because it's just tiny. It's just so small. That's what she said. Okay, and here we go. all set. Let me just hit this one more time. I just really want to make sure the wire's flattened out. There we go. All right, cool. So now let's lay this in place again and make sure that this third wire is long enough to get to. Okay, so now it's a little bit too long, which is great. It's actually not, no, it's kind of perfect. I'm going to snip just the tiniest little bit off, but it is damn near the perfect length. So now we shall strip these three and get them blasted down, and then we'll be done with the ESC soldering, which is exciting. I really prefer to strip wires with my fingernails. It makes absolutely sure that you don't nick the inner strands of metal wire. And your fingernails are attached to you, so you don't have to pick them up. You just whip them out. Know what I'm saying? Okay. Get all feral with it. All right, dig your fingernails in, give it a little grunt. And then I like to just pull the silicone down a little bit, because when you pull on the silicone, sometimes what will happen is you'll then hit it with the soldering iron and the silicone will shrink back a little bit. Whereas if you just take a second, if you pull it off like that and then you just take a second to push the silicone back down the wire, you can kind of prevent that from happening. So now we're going to tin these three. I always tin them off the edge of the desk. And I mean, you guys have seen me tin stuff so many times that I don't really think I need to show you. But you're basically just putting the soldering iron below the exposed bits of wire, and then you're going to feed the solder in from above. And ideally, you're trying to push solder in between each individual strand of wire. And it's as simple as that. Okay, so now we're going to get this soldered up to the board. It's kind of in the way being in here, so I'm going to take it up and out. And we're just going to do it right here. Flat on the desk real quick, like. And that'll be good to go. So the wire's going to be up like this, so let's go with the 90-degree one first. Just kind of bend these out of the way so that they're not fucking with you. Get your nerd goggles on so you can see what the hell you're doing. And let me just hit these guys with a little bit of flux. Okay, that ended up being a lot of flux. It's okay though. No such thing as too much. Not true. Almost no such thing as too much. And so we'll bring this wire in this direction. Give it a second to cool off. Actually clean the tip of the soldering iron here. See if you can catch a little bit more detail here. Alright, I'm going to rework this one real quick because I just want it to sit flatter on the pad here. So, put a little bit of heat back into it. And there we go. Sits nice and flat there. Now we're going to try to do the same thing with the rest of these. Alright, see now the rest of these are going to come in at an angle. Like we do. Again, make sure you're not using the soldering iron to hold the wires down. That's a big no-no. You want to control the wire with your left hand and get it perfectly placed. And then the soldering iron is just there to provide heat. Come on. Whoopsie. Let me get a little bit of fresh solder on the tip of the soldering iron. That'll help us out here. There we go, much better. Hey, that's the stuff. All right, last one here. Sometimes it helps to like tack it down temporarily and then come back and rework it. That's okay. You can do that. It's allowed. You want to try to do that as infrequently as possible, because every time you put heat into this, things happen. But like for example, it helps me to tack that down like that, and then I can rotate my tweezers around and get a little bit better control. That's mainly because I'm trying to do this on camera, admittedly, but still, that can help there. And I mean, that's it. Like, as long as you have the wire in the right spot and you're doing a good job with your offhand, the soldering iron is just going to come in real quick, drop a little bit of heat on it, and then it's out of there. So focus on that. And there you go. There's the fully soldered up AIO. Ramdago says, use a dry cap here and there. I will think you're cool, curious. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. All right, my friends. Let's take a look and see if these are long enough. We can kind of just bolt the, oh man, I put this motor into a pile of screws and it mugged them all. That's why it's nice to clean your bench between each job that you're doing. All right, I got all the screws out of that one. Looks like the rest of these are fine. Okay, cool. So here's the quad. This is set up to have the ESC in the rear because the front mounting holes, this is the V1 AOS 35. The only spot for, so I'm using a V1 Walksnail VTX, which is 25 by 25 only. And this particular frame only has a 25 by 25 mounting location in the front. Totally fine. There's no reason to not mount your ESC and flight controller in the rear. One of the things I actually don't like about the AOS 35 frame is that you can't center your stack. I always prefer to have the weight of the electronics dead center. That also makes the wire runs to the motors a lot shorter. This rig is going to be significantly heavier because we've got 3 big long wires running the entire length here. If the ESC was in the middle, we would have the shortest possible wire runs to each motor. So yeah, this thing is going to be a little bit heavier than it needs to be because of the frame design, where you've got one stack in the rear, just some wasted space in the middle here, and then another stack in the front. All right. I'm going to need to find a spot to put this capacitor as well. Or maybe I'll remove it. I don't know. I wonder if I can stick it down below somewhere. I'll figure it out. For right now, let's get these motors bolted on down. Did I have a little bag with some hardware here, or am I just riding dirty on this? I think maybe I'm riding dirty. Although, what's this hardware over here? What's this little baggie? This would be Grinderino hardware, wouldn't it? Is we riding dirty is the question. I think we is. Here's the bag. This is the bag up here. Okay, so yeah, I don't have any actual hardware for this, so we're gonna go into the stash, yo. Can actually kick off the soldering iron real quick. Bobby Bags says, I just bought an AOS 3.5 with the RCN Power 1404 3550 motors. You should like it, man. It's gonna be very similar to this. June Loco says, what receiver are you going to run? I still haven't decided that. I'm very tempted to just run the Crossfire Nano that's already hooked up to this flight controller, but I also kind of want to run ELRS, but I'll probably just stick with Crossfire. All right, so let's see. Well, hold on. I might have some screws right up here that'll work. I've got a little pocket of screws here. These appear to be M2x6. Let's throw one of them through here and see. Oh yeah, perfect. Amazing. So here we go. Got a whole thing in this silicone mat with a bunch of these screws. And these are the, I think these are the iFlight screws that come with a little bit of blue Loctite already on the threads, which is just awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's throw some screws in for these motors. I'm gonna do 3 per because weight savings. Come on, there we go. So what I do want to check is that these screws are long enough to make sure they're getting enough thread engagement. And we're going to do that with our little 5X loop. So you're just going to look down at the holes in the stator and you should be able to see the top of the screw. Well, these might not be quite long enough. So the other thing that you can do is to back it out while you push forward, and you'll feel it click. There it is. There's a click, 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 click. And then look at the amount of threads that are exposed, because that's the amount of contact that you're going to get with the threads on the motor. This is pretty good. You can also count turns. Wait for the click, click, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 and a half. 3.5 turns. So that's the amount of thread engagement. 3.5 threads. That's pretty good, but let's get a 1 millimeter longer screw and put it in here and see how much it protrudes through the bottom of the holes in the stator base, I should say. So right in the very next little pocket, I've got screws that are slightly longer. So let's throw one of these in and see what it looks like. Going to a 1 millimeter longer screw, a lot of times it'll be too long. But in this case, it's perfect. Okay, so yeah, these are the screws that I want, these slightly longer button head ones. So we're not going to use these iFlight screws. All right, let's pop this out here. And I think these iFlight screws do come in longer lengths, but I've got these guys right here. So we're going to be all right. So I got 1 in there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unbelievable. 6, 7, 8. I need 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm going to have to go into this little case here. That's not annoying or anything. Okay, let's find some screws. So I'm thinking that these guys are M2 by 8, but let's measure them up here. They sure are. This is another M2 by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I know why I have these set out. I have these set out because I like to use these for the prop screws. Prop screws are typically M2 by 7. So let me see if I have enough of these I-flate jib jabs in M2 by 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like when the screws match. It kind of drives me insane when they don't match. 7. See number 8. 8. See number 9 down there. 9. 10. 11. And 12. Cool. So we're good to go. These guys I'm going to put back where they... Well, actually, I'm going to leave these guys out because we're going to use these guys to hold the propellers on this quad. I like to use button-headed screws. If I have to use stainless steel, it's going to be stainless steel button head for propeller mounting because the button heads are slightly lighter, and it does make a difference in the rotating assembly. So now, even though I've already sorted these screws out, I'm just going to kind of, when I put each one of these in, I'm going to make sure that there's enough thread engagement just in case a slightly shorter screw snuck its way into that little compartment. That's something that does happen. This first one is good to go though. And now let me take out this one single M2 by 7 lightweight button head that I put into the bottom of that motor. All right, cool. So there we got that. All right, so yeah, with each one of these, just pay attention to how many threads are grabbing, and then just keep your eye on the top of the motor bell. So I think we're in a scenario where this is one of the shorter ones. Let me back it out and wait for the click. There's the click. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4.5. This one's somewhere in between, but again, use your 5X loop and just look at the top of the stator. Yeah, no, this one's too short. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Like, trust yourself, but don't overly trust yourself. That might be the screw that was sitting here a little bit ago. And so this is how I compare the screw lengths. I just lay them next to each other like this. And then you can pretty obviously tell this is the longer one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, yeah, I'm going to need one more. And yeah, you can really tell when you're screwing in. Like on these little builds, 1 millimeter is visible. You just have to pay attention. You have to stay sharp, yo. Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of these screws look like they're shorter. So I think a bunch of these screws made their way into the wrong little compartment there. Which is okay. You make that mistake a couple of times and then you remember forever. One motor is on though. It's a good start. Now let's get the second one here, see what it be looking like. Okay. The other thing you can do is put the screw through and then hold the stator base next to it. Hold the stator base flat against the carbon and you can see how many of the threads are peeking through the carbon, and then you can sort of just compare that to the thickness of the stator base. These Axis motors have really thick stator bases, which I really do like. The Emax Ecos are the 1404s are the example of the complete opposite side of that, where like this, woo, it didn't go to Never Never Land, where the thickness of the stator base is like non-existent, and in crashes it just demolishes the stator. The bells will be it's a very rare motor where the bells are going to survive damn near anything, but the stator base is going to get destroyed on pretty much anything. That's kind of rare. Again, keeping an eye on... So, I mean, we've now got screws that are poking through the stator base, so you want to make sure that they're not poking too far through the stator base and contacting the windings. Every motor has the windings a different distance from the screw holes. These particular motors have a really nice gap between the windings and the screw holes, which is great. Frank Douglas said, I pasted a screenshot in Discord. It's not the first short one you found. That second screw you laid out looks shorter than the others. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that are shorter. Ram Doggo says, what about gluing motors down? Don't do that. Motors get hot. They'll melt that glue in no time. Okay. Motor number 4 is good to go. Let's move on to motors number 1 and 2. Well, let's go back in the stash, actually, and find some more proper M2x7 hardware. So yeah, if you just line your hardware up like this, you'll very obviously see which ones are longer and which ones are shorter. And in this case right now, we've got 2, maybe 3 that are too short. I've got 3 that are too short. Yep, see them? 1, 2. This one looks to be almost somewhere in the middle, but when in doubt, it's too short. So let's hunt for another couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's hunt for another couple of these I-flate screws that are actually M2x7. There we go. There's one. Come on, baby. Where are they? I'll be goddamned if I don't have a matching set of screws in here. I will change all of these screws out if I can't get a matching set. You think I'm kidding? No, you don't. You've known me long enough to know that I'm not kidding about that. Oh, is that one? There's another one. Am I good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. Come on, man. Give me one more. I just need one more. Come on. Where is it? Where's it at in here? Give me a match screw, please. I see it. I see it. I see it. Hopefully that's long enough. Nope, this is one of the shorter ones. I saw another one, though. Where is it? Here it is. Is this the long one? Yes, M2x7. Cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I think this one is the shorter. Yeah, it is. So we had 4 of the M2x6s sneak in here. All right. This little compartment is filled with M2x6s. So let me just I'm gonna start slowly cleaning this workbench up a little bit here. M2x6 screws do not get used all that often. There are not many scenarios that you use them, other than like you used to use them on the ripsqueak arms because the they only used 2 point something millimeters thick carbon. 2.5, I want to say. What was what sound? Wasn't me. I didn't do it. No sound on my end. Okay. All right, M2x6s are put away. Nah, I didn't have any phone notification. Well, maybe. Could be a Discord notification. I don't think so, though. Because streamer mode is enabled. And that's supposed to kill the notifications. All right. Let's see if these are actually long enough. You don't want to just like hold them down on the ground there, hold them down on the bench and assume that they're long enough. Assume that they're not long enough is a much better idea. And then if they are long enough, it's a little bonus. That one almost, the one that I put in might be an M2x8. Seemed like he was a little bit angry. Do yourself a favor. When you get motors and they come with screws, a lot of times they're labeled. There's your chance. Put them in another bag with the right lengths, or just write on the bag the length of the screws and then hang on to them. It certainly beats sitting here and laying them all out on your desk for hours and hours and hours. Ask me how I know. Alright, so 2 outside screws are in, and that one was not an M2x8. It's fine. And then I don't put in the inside screw like this. I put on the bottom outside screw, if that makes sense. So I leave the rear screw holes empty. I'm sorry, the inside screw holes empty here. So see this one? It's very unlikely that anything could come up here and hit this. So I leave that screw out. Same thing here, leave this screw out. And then on this side, leave this screw out, which you'll see in a second. 3 motors are on. Last one coming up. Motor number 1. Ah, you fart bag. Okay. And there we go. So this frame has big slots in the arms to accommodate 9x9 or 12x12 mounting. I don't love it. It makes it a little bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. The motor just moves around a little bit more when you're trying to mount it. But there's not much you can really do that. All right! The motors are mounted. All of the motor wire runs were long enough. Isn't that exciting? And in 3 seconds, I'll realize that for some reason I need to take this back apart. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're good. No, we're not. These wires won't clear this post. Oh my God, really? Wait. I can just do this. That'll help. There we go. Okay. All right, we good now. Yeah, those guys are going to sit down like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this guy's going to sit here like this. Nice and this guy's a little... No, it's not too short. I just picked... Yeah, there we go. These guys are the perfect length. So there you go. Nice short wire runs in the rear here. We can get these tiny little race wire LEDs nice and flat on these skinny little A-arms. Yeah, neat, tidy, no extra nonsense, no braiding, nothing crazy. Just clean wire runs. Where's that other black wire? There it is. So yeah, and at this point, like, I just spend a minute or 10 organizing each wire so that it runs flat and in the right direction, so that it's just kind of as clean as possible. This guy's going to go on the very bottom. This guy's going to go next. And yeah, man. Neat and tidy life. So next up is going to be, well, let's do this. Let me throw some of these, so I don't forget them. Let me throw some of these screws into the tops of the motors, because otherwise these screws are going to get misplaced, and I'm not going to realize that these are specifically earmarked for propellers. Although the fact that I have a set of 8 of these screws together here is kind of obvious. That's how I figured it out a minute ago, that it was for propellers. If I have a set of 12 screws, I know that that's for motors, because I put 3 screws in per motor, and our rigs have 4 motors on them. There's a weird little trick for you. What I really like is running titanium screws in on the propellers here, but I have run out of titanium screws. I use those primarily on all of the working rigs to squeeze every little bit of performance out of those. Freestyle rigs tend to get more bashy, slammy, jammy components, so I would do like stainless steel instead of titanium. Another option would be doing aluminum. I kind of wish I had some aluminum M2 hardware. Aluminum is actually lighter than titanium, but it's significantly less strong. Titanium is lighter than steel, and it's stronger. It's just a little bit more brittle. Aluminum is weaker. I don't know how it is in terms of brittleness, but it is lighter. The problem with aluminum M2 screws, though, is that they strip out like absolute crazy. So I've tried them in the past, and I always think to myself, like, oh, you can do it. Just don't over-tighten them, you big dumb idiot. But luckily, like, I don't have, nothing comes with the aluminum M2 hardware, probably for that reason, which is great because it prevents me from wasting my time running it. Okay, so I need to figure out something with this capacitor. I mean, I could just... I could do something like this, but I would need to find a way to like secure it. I don't hate that. I could also go back here with it, or hell, I could even just, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna zip tie it to this standoff here. It's just gonna live its life like that, because that'll be out of the way of everything else. All right, cool. So now we can start looking at our well, I might mount these LED race wires next to get these screws the hell out of the way, but we can start thinking about this Walksnail mounting. I think I finally decided on mounting it like this because reasons. There is going to be another antenna attached to it. What's happening here? Okay. So I need to plug, all right, so that's one of the things, is that I'm gonna need to plug into this. And I would love to not have to remove standoffs in order to do that. Also, there's going to be 2 antennas. I'm going to use these kind of crappy antennas, but it'll be fine. There's 2 of them. I'm not going to fly this thing super far away. This is more of a freestyle rig. But what I need to do is spec out where these antennas are going to sit. I don't quite think... Come on, motherfucker. Jesus. I don't quite think this antenna will clear this standoff. It's kind of like exactly wrong. Yeah, no, that's... I need to prep these antennas anyway, so let's do that real quick. Let's prep these antennas, and then we will wrap this thing up for the day, I think. Okay. So I should have a little bit of extra shrimp wrap in here from last time. Maybe not. Maybe not. No. All right, that's fine. Let's get some fresh shrimp wrap out here, and we will get these antennas fixed up a little bit. These antennas really do suck, though. But you know, the alternative is I end up buying singularities, and those are $20 each, and that's $40 worth of antennas that I'm putting on this rig that, like, I'm not sure I'm going to fly all that much, so screw that. Let's just do the antennas that it came with, and we will just rely on Walksnail being amazing to keep the video quality somewhat respectable. So in order to prep a UFL, you're going to cut off a couple of little pieces of shrimp wrap. Make sure you get the good stuff made from actual shrimps. And you're going to need to stretch them. You want to use this, whatever the hell this size is that doesn't quite fit over the head of the UFL, and then you're just going to stretch it out, and that way it shrinks back down nice and tight. The next size up is like significantly bigger, so I would always rather take this slightly smaller sized shrimp, put it in your needle nose tweezer pliers, and just stretch it out a little bit. And now you can just barely fit it over the head of the UFL. Get it up nice and tight to the joint here, and hit it with your lighter or your heat gun if you're fancy. And now what you've done is really, really, really protect the most vulnerable part of the UFL. This is not bulletproof. This is not like, if you still pull on this really hard, it's going to wreck it, but this is going to help a little bit for sure. And so you go from this okay. So you're going to go from this to that. Okay. So you see how exposed this one is? And now this one, it's just got a little something something there to prevent this thing from pulling out, because the UFLs are just held on by these silly little tabs. So yeah, it's going to do a really good job at, like, you wouldn't believe what a difference it makes. It's pretty slick. And you can cut the you can cut it a little bit longer than that to give it even more protection. I kind of keep it in this case, these wires are going to have to like bend pretty drastically, and so I'm keeping it kind of short here, so that if you run the shrimp wrap too long, it's going to make it harder for that UFL wire to bend, and that could add stress back. So just, you know, it depends. If your UFLs are going to be able to come straight out, you can do a nice big piece of shrimp wrap that'll really, really protect it. But if they're not going to go straight out, a nice little piece is totally sufficient. Cool. Any last second questions? Ram Douglas says, price or something like being fragile. CiottiFPV mentioned he got a load at an early stage. Yeah. TI screws are very expensive. I think that's what we're talking about here. The thing I don't like about these antennas is I don't know how to secure them. I think I'm just going to zip tie these to the rear standoffs. Hopefully they'll reach. But we'll find that out next time we work on this rig. Here's the last thing I'll do. I'm going to put this this little shield / cover thing back on. I forget why I took it off. I think I took it off to take the antennas off, to maybe do that little bit of prep to the antennas. This is what the metal piece looks like here. So let's get it put back on. It uses these incredibly fiddly little screws, which are super annoying. Thank God that Walksnail got away from this, because this is like peak fiddly right here. These screws are absurdly small. All right, and so we drop this on here. Which direction does it go? It goes outwards like that, I guess. No, it goes inwards. Yeah. There it is. Oh boy, this is going to be a fucker to line up. Ooh, not bad. Got it on the first shot. Okay, there's that. There's this one. Yeah. Come on, little buddy. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I think that's in there just enough. And then the third one here. Come on. There we go. Sorry, you guys can't see when I do that. Just gotta get to catch the threads. All right, yeah, so there we go. There's the little metal piece, and it holds these UFLs on, which is kind of nice. But I don't know. There's got to be a better way. Make sure these are tight so they don't back off. This one was not at all. And then this one over here. All right. There we go. All set. Ready for next time. All right, friends, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your weekend. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com if you like this kind of thing and would like to see it continue. I rely on beautiful people like you to support the insanity. Much appreciated. You guys have kept this ship afloat for a long time, and that is pretty effing cool, man. Why do I have all these just floating around? What is this? This is right-hand circular polarized. Why did I not? I wonder if I was keeping these out. What's Walksnail? Walksnail's left-hand, right? All the digital stuff is left-hand. I think I was keeping this out to try to convince myself to use it for this, but no, I'm not going to do that. Put it away. Use it for something else. I also have this one. Caddx FPV Cherry. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put these in the in the box over there with all the other DJI stuff. This, I pulled off that tiny whoop. And this is for the other tiny whoop. Okay, we good. We good. All right, people. I gotta move the camera over. I used to have a Vista in this thing, and now I don't. Extra ESC, extra flight controller. Hopefully I don't need them. Okay. I love you guys. Be good. I'll see you tomorrow night at 10. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll work on this a little bit more. Any suggestions? Message them to me. Okay, bye. CiottiFPV.com, friends. I love you. Buy yourself something nice. You deserve it. Here comes some more drift chasing with some music. It's called Odd. Sub titties off. Later, friends. I love you. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Hey.